one-man game.
It's showtime, folks!
Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. It has been quite the busy day today, but I am here to give a Bound for Glory preview and predictions show. Now, there has been many rumors, and I'm pretty sure you've heard by now, that Bound for Glory may not even happen, and I'll give my opinion on that later. But first, let's jump into the matches. First up, we have Mike Bennett facing off against Moose. This has been a well-built feud. The way Bennett introduced Moose was well done as well. Moose has been over with the crowd from the start. Even as being a heel, he's still been over with the crowd, which is pretty incredible. The Moose and Bennett pairing has been good, but face turn was obvious once the crowd started to get behind Moose, and they made the correct call. I'm excited for this matchup. I think it will be really good. They've also in the process set up a Lashley and Moose feud, which I believe will happen after Bound for Glory. And as for this match, I'm gonna go with Moose with the win here, as I think he has to win this one in his first big pay-per-view match. And I think Mike Bennett will go on to possibly face Cody Rhodes, or he may do something there. But I'm excited for this match. I think it can be really good, and Moose will be your winner. Next up, we have Aron Rex versus Drew Galloway for the Grand Championship. This has been a fantastic idea in my opinion. This tournament, if you haven't already seen the rules, it is a 3-round tournament, and the winner is determined by judges, or it is determined by a pinfall or submission. The matches have been very different, and it's been 3 minutes per round. And one thing that I like is that it guarantees that you're going to get at least a 9-minute match, or a 7 to 8 minute match. The matches have been different, and it has been good. I think that Aron Rex and Drew Galloway could steal the show with this matchup, and I think this one will go 5 rounds. I think so. Looking back on their feud, it has been a good build between those two guys. Once Aron Rex came in, I was actually hoping that his first match would be against Drew Galloway, and once they got to the Drew Galloway heel turn, I thought it was fantastic, because Drew plays the heel great. I mean, he's one of the best going right now, and the heel turn on Rex was a thing of beauty. The build has been great, as both guys have been tearing each other apart, and it's been building all the way to Bound for Glory, which is a great thing. And I mean, I'm sure this will be a great match, and this is another one I'm really looking forward to. And I'm pretty sure that the winner will be Aron Rex. Moving on, we have the Knockouts title match with Maria versus Gail Kim. Now, this has been this is the only match, only feud that I haven't enjoyed, or I'm not really looking forward to, because the matchup of Maria versus Gail Kim, it has felt forced throughout this entire build to Bound for Glory. And I mean, look at the storyline. Maria has had Gail Kim try to go through the entire Knockouts roster. I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of Ali laying down and just giving Maria the title. So I'm not really a fan of this match here. If I'm taking a guess here as to who wins, I'm actually going to go with Maria, because I see money in Ali redemption story versus Maria. The crowd is all over Ali and they want her to be the champion, and I'm sure the people in TNA realize that, and I'm more excited for that than I am for Maria versus Gail Kim. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Maria as the winner of this match. Next up, we have the TNA Tag Team title match, which is labeled as the Great War, with the Hardys versus Decay. This has been one of the crazier feuds I have ever seen, and I mean that in a totally good way. The Delete or Decay video, I mean, you can, if you go back in my videos, I reviewed that and I was just out of words after I got finished watching it. It was almost as crazy as Final Deletion, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I enjoy Decay and the Hardys promo segments in the ring. They are just off the charts crazy, and it's something about Matt Hardy right now, and this is where I give him a ton of credit. He's done such a great job of reinventing himself throughout his wrestling career, and he's done it again here. And he reportedly has all the control over this, over the creative of all of his character and what's going on here. So these teams fit like hand in glove as it pertains to a feud, and it has been really entertaining, even down to Rebby getting involved. That has been entertaining, as well as she gets involved with Rosemary. I'm looking forward to this one. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the entire pay-per-view. But at this point, as for a winner, I think you have to put the belts on the Hardys. I mean, Matt and Jeff has just built up so much interest in TNA with this crazy feud that I think it's appropriate that you give them a run. It doesn't have to be a long run, but just a short run with the titles. Next up, we have the TNA Bound for Gold Battle Royal, and all of the participants, has not been named yet. 4 others will be named, but we have 6 participants named as it is, and those participants are Baron Dax, Tyrus, Grado, Rockstar Spud, Jesse Gathers, and Robbie E. The winner will get a future world title shot. Looking at these 6 names, I would think that, it doesn't take star level names to have an entertaining battle royal. So while these names may not be the top names, I think they could really tear the house down and have an entertaining battle royal. But as for a winner, looking at these names, I would have to say Robbie E is the most likely out of those names to win the battle royal. But once the other 4 names get announced, if I make a change on it, I will have it in a updates. So stay tuned for that one. Last up, we have the main event for the TNA World Title. We have EC3 versus Lashley. This has been the best built match of all the matches on the card. EC3 won the Bound for Glory playoffs. I mean, that was obvious, but they made it very entertaining, even though it was obvious. EC3 and Lashley have played well off of each other. Lashley's personality has just taken off. I mean, if you haven't watched Lashley in months or since he's been in WWE, you would be surprised to see this guy right now. I personally think he is one of the most entertaining wrestlers in all of wrestling right now. I mean, the guy just doesn't care, and he plays his bully role to the T. Looking at this build, EC3 and Lashley had a press conference, and I put that in quotation marks, but they had a fantastic press conference. They played off of how MMA and boxing does their press conferences. They had some drama involved, and they had a big brawl afterwards, and it was one of the more well done segments that TNA has done in ages. And I would recommend YouTubing that, because I had a fantastic job watching it. Bobby Lashley came off as a person that doesn't care about anybody. He will run through anybody to keep what he wants, to get what he wants. And EC3 came off as a person that was ready to take on Lashley. It was very entertaining. This whole feud has been entertaining, and they've kept this feud entertaining all while building up that future Lashley Moose matchup. And as I said earlier, I think that has been great. That was a great creative move on TNA's part. But as for the winner of this matchup, I think it is already determined that EC3 is going to win here. The face has to overcome the heel at the biggest show of them all, and this very well could be the best match on the card. It has been the most well built, so I'm looking forward to it. Lashley has been unstoppable, and I think he will finally take his loss here versus EC3, which will set up Lashley versus Moose in a future matchup. And now this is where I get to the unfortunate part of this segment. Bound for Glory is set for Sunday, but there's a real dark cloud hanging over it. There's been plenty of rumors that TNA is going up, or may go up for sale. Billy Corgan is doing all he can to buy it, to which I really hope that happens. And rumor has it that WWE is in on the sales as well, which brings me to my next point, and that is, it just bothers me to see there are people out there that are taking pleasure in this, and they are just up for the idea that let's get TNA out of there, let's run them out of business. That's great. Their matches are going to be on the WWE network, and that is just a horrible mindset, because the way I look at it, as you can tell by the intro to this video, I was a massive WCW fan. And when Vince bought WCW, there was just an empty feeling that was left over on my part. There was no more WWE versus WCW. There was no more Nitro, no more Sting, no more NWO, and it was just an empty feeling. And WWE monopolizing wrestling is never good. It's proven when they bought out Nitro that, I mean, it just steadily started to go downhill without competition. Now, looking at this situation, I'm really hoping that does not happen. And I'm really pulling for Billy Corgan, because he seems like a fantastic person. He seems like a person that's all in on trying to make wrestling better and trying to make TNA better. He's done a fantastic job, and I really hope that he takes it over. Now, what would be an inglorious idea, and this is just a theory, what would be a fantastic idea is if TNA is just pulling all of this just to get hyped for Bound for Glory. Because all the wrestling world is talking about this. Everybody wants to see what happens. It would be fantastic if they were just working us all along. I mean, that's what I would like to see, and that would be a great idea, and that's what I hope is happening. But we'll see what happens as the rumors trickle out one by one, and we'll see if we get Bound for Glory this Sunday, and we'll keep an eye on the entire situation. I'm pretty sure everyone will, and I know I certainly will as well. Well, that is it for this preview and prediction show. Hopefully Bound for Glory will happen. I will be watching this Sunday, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at SwissArmyKnife4.